been very testing. Apparently it was harder than a lot of their interviews they had at King's.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
In a nice way.
So my mum is a teacher, and my father is an engineer, and he was desperate for me to follow in his footsteps. And my mum was desperate for me not to follow in her footsteps. She said, Simon, don't become a teacher. Don't be a teacher. So as a typical boy, I did everything they said not to do, and I became a teacher.
I think it's always been in my heart. I think I've always known that I would be a teacher. Right as a child, I always used to line up all my teddies and they were very well educated. And I think I had some really inspiring teachers at school who just made learning really fun. And so to be able to share that with other people is really special.
When I was a child, I always wanted to become a teacher. But when I was an adult, I decided to go into speech and language therapy. I was working in a school and I saw the teachers every day. And I was just like, I want that job. I need to do that instead.
I used to be a performer. I used to sing in bands a lot. The year after I graduated, I actually took off a year to play music. And during that period of time, my guitarist's mum was the head of an early years centre. And she said to me, she said, Raj, I actually think you'd be great at this. Why don't you come and be an AT? And I had the best time. I absolutely loved it. I often tell parents my role really is to be a professional child, is to be able to connect with children on their level.
I am part of a huge family of 32 grandchildren. I was the eldest, so I was always taking care of them, and it came very natural to me. My professor really encouraged me to teach abroad. And I felt what better way than to actually go abroad and experience different cultures so that I'm completely open-minded to the students I have in my class.
When I was young, most of schools in China are teacher-centered. I was a kid who always had my own idea. So I chose to be a teacher because I want to make a difference. There must be children like me who want to do experiment outside school, who are creative, who want to learn in a different way.
There was definitely one teacher that was a lot more strict than the others. She was quite a shouty teacher, quite a loud teacher, and the way that she sort of communicated was more with her voice rather than gestures and kind of talking to you and bringing you over. I remember one experience where she did do that to me and I was absolutely mortified. And I think that again just stuck with me and thought I don't want to make any child feel singled out or embarrassed or anything like that. So I think that's why I want to make sure that I'm very available if children feel like they need to speak to someone. I always make sure that I build that relationship with them to make them understand that I'm there to support them, I'm there to work with them.
Although I loved the pace and the excitement of working in a city environment, I then had a change of heart and I wanted to try and do something where I was contributing more. So I took an extended stay in Tanzania and I worked in a school with children about 50 to a classroom with very few resources. That really spurred me on to want to train as a teacher. Just seeing the excitement these children had for learning, even though they had very limited resources, made me feel that I could offer children a love of learning, I could inspire.
It was a year 6 boy who was being brought up by his grandma. His mother really wasn't very interested in looking after him. And I spent hours and hours and hours talking to him at lunch times and at break times and helping him deal with those anger issues. And towards the end of the year, I just remember him putting his hand on my shoulder and just going, I respect you, miss, thank you. That made such a big impact on me, and it was a long time ago and I still remember it and I still remember the boy. Yeah, that was a really sort of significant moment.
เปิ้ลเริ่มเป็นครูสอนว่ายน้ำตั้งแต่ตอนที่เปิ้ลยังเรียนหนังสืออยู่ที่จุฬานะคะ ใช้วิชาความรู้ที่เรามีเนี่ยในการสอนเด็กให้ว่ายน้ำเป็นแล้วทุกๆครั้งของการสอนให้เด็กได้ว่ายน้ำเป็นเนี่ยเราจะรู้สึกว่าเรามีความสุขมาก
So I was a banker for about 8 years, but I always really wanted to be a teacher because when I taught English as a student, I really enjoyed it. Why did I want to become a teacher? I just love working with young people. I had a really good education. I was very lucky, and I wanted to share my luck, as it were, with other people. You know, I'm one of the people in their life that I hope that can help them mature, develop their independence and grow.
I grew up in a small village, so in a village where you know everyone and where everyone is part of your life, a school is very similar. You know the teachers, the cleaners, the dinner ladies, you're part of a wider community. And a school is very much like a village in that way. It's a place where you can chisel out a part of the universe to be slightly different. One of the things I read recently was you can achieve anything you want if you don't care who gets the credit. Teachers input a huge amount of themselves into their work and they invest in children, not caring whether they get the credit. They invest to try and make young men and women they'd be proud of. That's what's special about being a teacher, is that they can give so much and ask for so little. And that's why I've wanted to be a teacher all my life and why I've stayed in schools.